Hello and welcome to Math 126 Online. My name is Eric Hutchinson. I'll be your instructor for this term. Normally for this class, if it meets face-to-face, I would go over the syllabus on the first day of class, but since this class is 100% online, I thought I'd take some time to go over that with you now via video. And so I'm going to tell you some very important things that you need to know to get started with this class. So you want to make sure you follow along with the syllabus. You should have been emailed a copy of the syllabus, or it's also posted in Canvas. So please follow along with me. Make sure you have a syllabus with you before you go on with this video. I'm going to go and talk about some very important things here to get you started. So the first thing I want to talk about on here for 126 is my contact information is at the top. And so I am located on the West Charleston campus, Building H, Room 101, Office C. And so my office hours are posted here on the syllabus, but often I'm here longer than my office hours. You can call my office phone to see if I'm still here, and you might be able to meet with me in person on campus to go over problems or whatever questions you have to have answered. Otherwise, if that time doesn't work for you, then email is the best way to get a hold of me. So I check my email several times throughout the day, even on weekends, and so if you have any questions about how to log in or homework, things like that, then please feel free to send me an email. Now you can do that two ways. You can send me an email either through Canvas, or you can send it to eric.hutchinson@csn.edu. I want to let you know that all official course announcements are going to be sent through Canvas. So make sure that your Canvas account is working. In Canvas, there's an option to forward any kind of emails you get in Canvas. It will forward it to whatever email address that you choose. So if you have that set up in Canvas, make sure you have it set up to an email address that you actively are looking at, because you don't want to miss any kind of announcements, because I send testing instructions and other kind of instructions through Canvas officially. I can't send somebody to send that to a personal email. The school would like me to send all official announcements through Canvas, so that's what we're going to be doing for this class. Again, we talked about that. Communication is the best. That's the first thing we talked about. Now the second thing that is going to be really important for you guys is my website. So I have the direct link here on my syllabus, but if you actually just go open up a internet search page and just put in Eric Hutchinson and CSN, the first thing that's going to pop up is my website. Make sure you put the CSN afterwards, otherwise you're going to get Eric Hutchinson, the singer-songwriter, which is a more exciting website than mine, but probably not going to be as helpful to you in this math class. So just put Eric Hutchinson CSN in any kind of internet search page, search engine, and it'll pop up. On that page, on the left-hand side, there'll be some buttons, and so there'll be a button for Math 126 DE. So you want to click that button, and when you hover over that, some choices are going to come down there, and there's going to be some tools that you can go to. So for instance, there's notes and videos for every single section that we have in this class. So every section we do all the way through, and the schedule, by the way, is listed here in the syllabus as far as your homework, your objectives. We'll talk about a little bit later what we're doing every single week. You can get the notes for that on my webpage. So I have video lectures, and these lectures are real similar to what I would do in an actual face-to-face class. So it's highly recommended that you read through the notes, watch the videos first before attempting the homework. That's going to help you. So just look for Math 126, and it'll give you not only notes, but I also have test review materials on there as well. So when we get closer to an exam, you want to go to that web page, and you'll be able to see not only a list of a sample test, you'll see a list of review problems, list of problems in the book that are similar to the ones that are on the test, and you also will find a video of me going through every single problem on the test review, on the sample test. So that way you have an idea of what's going to be on the test, because the problems you do in homework look a little bit different than what will be on the test, so that's why I provide you a sample test for that. So you can read about the course description for Math 126. We're going to do topics including we have polynomial, rational expressions, and so forth, type of equations that we're going to be solving for this class. And you can read the course objectives as well. But basically, algebra, you'll be solving different equations, graphing different equations, and so forth. And to be in this class, you should have passed Math 96 with a C or better, or gotten in by placement scores. Now, Most important thing that you probably want to know is what book or what do I need for this class. So you don't need an actual physical textbook, because this material that we're going to be using in this class, ALEKS 360, it's a student access code is all that's required. When you buy the student access code, the ebook will be included. Access to the ebook will be included when you purchase this. This is required. You must purchase this because this is where you're going to be doing all your homework in a program that's called ALEKS, and I'll talk about ALEKS a little bit later. Okay, so this is the Pre-Calculus First Edition by Julie Miller, and for 126, if you're planning on taking 127 afterwards, it's highly recommended that you purchase 52 weeks of access. CSN has special pricing for that, and although you can find 18 weeks only if you try and purchase this online, which you can do. You don't have to go to the bookstore. As you go through the registration instructions, there's an option to buy it directly from ALEKS online from McGraw-Hill. And they're going to give you a choice of 18 weeks access as well, but you might as well get 52 weeks of access because the price is almost the same. And that way, for those of you going on the 127, if you get an instructor that's also using ALEKS, then you don't have to purchase the book again. So therefore, it's highly recommended that you get 52 weeks of access. Now, if you don't have the funds to pay for this right away, at the very end of this paragraph that says required materials, there is a code that's there, and this is a financial access code. So if we're waiting for financials to come in, financial aid or check or something like that, you can get 14 days of free access by putting this code in. So when you go through the instructions that are at the very end, you want to follow these instructions all the way through in order to get registered for the course. When you get to the point where it asks you for a student access code, that's where you're going to enter in this financial code here, and that's going to get you free access. So by the way, when you go through these instructions, you want to follow them step by step, and this is one thing you should be doing right away, is getting registered for this course for ALEKS. So just follow the step-by-step login instructions, and if you don't want to go to the bookstore and purchase this code, you can do it through here, through these instructions. Make sure you look at this 10-digit student access code at the very top. That's what you need. You need a class code, which is that code there, and you also need that student access code that you either are going to purchase from the bookstore, purchase online, or if you want to do the financial access code for the first 2 weeks, that's fine. If you are going to use the financial access code, keep in mind that after 2 weeks, it's going to make you upgrade and pay for the full code, and so this is only going to allow you 2 weeks of free access. Okay, now let's talk about what calculator we need for this class. So in this class, any kind of scientific calculator is fine, but when you take your exams in the testing center, you are not allowed to use a cell phone. So you can't use a calculator app on any mobile device. You have to use a standalone calculator, and they will allow you to use that in the testing center. And so I did put a recommendation down here. I put the TI-30X Multi-View. It has pretty prints and everything else. Now if you have a graphing calculator, I do allow you to use that in this class. You don't need to purchase one for this class. That's a little bit overkill, but for the few graphing problems that we do in this class, if you already have a calculator and you like to use it in a test, then that's fine. The material covered, you'll be able to see on the syllabus what material is covered. I want to talk about the homework in here, ALEKS objectives. Now, I just talked to you about how you get registered with ALEKS and what registration instructions you want to follow. When you get done with all those instructions and log into ALEKS, it's going to take you through a tutorial, and it's going to give you a tutorial on how to enter problems in the class, homework problems and things like that. You want to go through all that first. Then once you get done with the tutorial, then it's going to ask you to do what's referred to as an initial assessment. Now the way this homework program works, this is called an adaptive homework system, which means that it gives you homework based on your weak areas, on information that you don't know. It's going to give you problems on that. Now maybe some of you guys might have had this class before in a previous semester or from high school, and you might remember and retain some of the information. It's going to see how much of that you actually retain and know. Now when you take this initial assessment, you're probably going to see a lot of problems on there that you just don't know how to do, and that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about that if you don't know how to do the problems. You should not try and get help on these problems. It's just assessing how much information you know coming into the course. So if you don't know how to do it, there's actually a choice that says I don't know, or you can take a guess on it and see what it is, what the answer is. But mainly what that's for is to see how much initial information you already know, and it'll build the homework assignments based upon how you do on that, and it'll give you homework based on your weak areas. So it'll tell you out of the total number of topics, things that we're going to learn in this class, it'll tell you how many topics you already have some knowledge going into. So you do want to take that test immediately this week, because you're not going to be able to start doing the homework questions until you finish that initial assessment. Now once you get done with the initial assessment, then it's going to take you to the homework. Now whenever you log into Alex, after you've taken the initial assessment, once you log in, on the left hand side of the screen there's going to be a kind of a blue bar over there, and it's always going to tell you which objective you're working in and when it's due. There's a button that says Continue My Path. As long as you click on the Continue My Path button after you get done with the initial assessment, it'll take you to the homework set. But if you log out and log back in to get back to the homework assignment again, just click the Continue My Path button, and that'll take you directly to the problem that you're working on. So every week there is an objective that is due, and so in here there is a list of objectives that you're going to see every single week. It'll tell you which objective is due, it'll tell you the due dates and all that, so that'll tell you exactly what objective you should be working on, and it will tell you the due date on that as well. So as long as you click the Continue My Path button, that ensures that you're doing the correct problems for this class. Now depending on what kind of skills you come in, each student's going to have slightly different problems that you're going to be working through, because again it's adaptive. It gives you problems based on what your skills are, what information you have coming into it. And so just keep going through that process, Continue My Path, and as you go through, what you do is you're going to finish a problem. It'll tell you finished a topic, and so the topics make up goals, and so at the end, once you finish all those goal topics, it'll tell you, great, you finished objective, whatever the first objective is, objective 1, and then after that it'll automatically move you to the second one. So you are allowed to work ahead with these problems, but there's always going to be a minimum amount that you're going to have to do every week, and that's going to be listed here in the list of objectives that you have. So that's how homework is done in this class. So basically your grade in the homework is what percentage of those goal topics that you finish every single week. So let's say that there's 16 goal topics for the first week, and you finish 8 out of 16, that means you've completed 50%, and that's the grade that you would get in the grade book after the due date. After the due date, you're not allowed to go back and finish it. So you have to make sure that you finish it all. So as long as you take the time to work through all those problems, then you're guaranteed to get 100%. If you finish all of it, all the problems in the objective, you'll get 100% in your grade book. Don't wait till the last day to do all these problems. That's a lot of problems that are in here. So you don't want to wait till the last day to do it, because you're going to spend hours and hours and hours working on it. It's better to actually do it in smaller chunks throughout the week. So maybe spend an hour or two each day working on it, however long it takes you to get through. So don't put it off to the weekend. Make sure you try and get in there at least a little bit every day throughout the week, so that way it's not so much that you have to do at the very end. Okay, let's talk about the exams. There's going to be 3 exams that you're going to take in this class. Now each exam has a window that's going to be open, and the dates are listed here in the syllabus. The exams are usually open from Monday through Thursday, unless there's a holiday on a Monday, and if there is, then the exams will be open that week from Tuesday through Friday. But you always will have 4 days to do the test. The tests are going to be available at the testing centers, so at all 3 of the main campuses, and they're open. The hours they're open is listed in here, but usually it's open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 7:30, and then Fridays are open from 8 to 5. Now the testing center is starting to transition into an appointment-based system, which means that you're going to need to make an appointment in order to take the test. And in order to make an appointment, there's instructions that you're going to follow. Now I'm going to email those to you guys, so be watching your email, and I'll tell you when the first test is going to be available for you to log in and make an appointment. I'm going to put the test, it's basically an online scheduling system, so you follow the instructions I'll send you and you go in and make an appointment for the test. You have to make an appointment at least 48 hours in advance. You want to do this as soon as I post the test and send you the instructions. You want to go in and make an appointment as soon as possible, so that way you can get the time that you need. Now, if for some reason everything is all full, they do take some walk-in appointments, but keep in mind, if you do walk in, you might need to wait a long time, because they take the appointments first and then walk-ins they do afterwards. So in order to cut down on the wait time, go in there and make an appointment. I'll send you the instructions for that. And you can make an appointment on any of the 3 campuses. So I have it set up on those. Now, for those of you that live outside of Las Vegas, who maybe live near Mesquite or Moapa, I do set up tests at the Moapa location over there. I've also set up tests for those that live over by Nellis or live on the Nellis Air Force Base. So I do set up tests at those locations as well. If that applies to you, send me an email before the week before the test and let me know, and I will send the instructions to those centers. Now, if you're not going to be in Las Vegas the week of the exam, you need to email me, and in that case, if you're not going to be in town for the exam, then we need to set up a proctor outside. So you need to still take it in a proctored environment. You cannot take the exams at home. It has to be done at a testing center, and so in that case, you can send me testing information for whatever location that you're near, and it's your responsibility to find a testing center or find a college or university in your area that proctors out-of-state exams. But if you're in Las Vegas, you have to go to one of the 3 main campuses, or Nellis or Moapa. Those locations are available for testing. And so once you make an appointment, you'll just go there and take the exam. The testing center, the tests that you have there, test 1, 2, and 3, that's going to make up 50% of your overall grade, and your ALEX objectives, that makes up 20% of your overall grade. These are paper and pencil exams. So again, to review for these, as I mentioned earlier, you can go to the website and you can find sample exams. So that'll be an idea of what the exams will look like. A lot of times the sample exams, I use the same instructions. All I do is I change the numbers, so you have an idea what kind of questions are going to be on there, and you can do that to prepare. Now in this class, we also have a comprehensive final exam. Comprehensive means it'll be an exam covering everything. That's going to be the last week of this semester. So the dates are also listed on here. There's 4 days that the final exam is going to be open. And again, like the regular test, you have to take it at a testing center in a proctored environment. And so the final exam is worth 30% of your grade. For the final exam in this class, I do allow you to use a 3x5 note card, both sides, for notes, and the testing center will allow you to use that. So on the regular exams, I don't allow any notes, note cards, nothing's allowed at all for the exams. Only a calculator and a pencil is all that's allowed there. But for the final exam, I do allow a 3x5 note card. Next, we're going to talk about late assignments and makeup work. In this class, I do not offer makeup exams or late work or any extra work besides the objectives that are listed. So at the end of the semester, if you're asking me, is there anything more that I can do to increase my grade, the answer is going to be no. At the end of the semester, that's it. So I cannot just offer one person extra work and not somebody else. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of the class. So to be fair to everybody, I'm going to say that there's no extra credits, no extra assignments that you can do in this class to bring up your grade. The exams are open for 4 days. If you fail to take the exam during that 4-day window and you fail to contact me ahead of time regarding making alternate testing arrangements, then you're going to get a 0, and that's going to stay. I do not offer any makeup exams. I do not offer extensions on the test or the homework. That's the policy for this class. Speaking of work on tests, I'm going to talk about standard of work next. Now, when you do your work on the test, you should follow the work that's similar to the way I do it on the sample exam, and you can kind of follow along with my video, what kind of steps that I show. If you got stuff all around over here, stuff written on the side like this all over, and I can't follow your work, then I'm going to take off points. When I grade exams, I'm not just looking for the right answer. In fact, the right answer is only part of all the credit you're going to receive. Majority of the credit you're going to receive from the problem actually comes from the step-by-step process that you show, because that's what I'm testing on, is the step-by-step process. process, not just the answer at the end. So if you have an answer and no work that's shown, you're going to get almost all the credit taken off for that. If you do it all in your calculator and show no work, I'm not going to give you full credit for that problem. So make sure you try and show as much work as possible, because I do grade on partial credit. I want to be able to give you as many points as possible. If you don't know how to do the problem, at least put some work down, show some work, so you can at least get a point or something like that for at least attempting and trying the problem, as long as the work is kind of somewhat in the ballpark of what you should have for the problem itself. So I do grade on partial credit on all the exams. Now, next thing on here, I want to take a moment to talk about the difference between a withdrawal and an audit. Everybody always asks, what's the difference between the two? Okay, if you, at the end, somehow, as we get into the semester, you're finding that you just don't have enough time to finish everything, and you like to avoid having a bad grade on your GPA, you can drop or audit a class, and then that will not affect your GPA. Now, here's the difference between the two. If you do a withdrawal, that means that you're no longer enrolled in the class, you're no longer participating, it's done, it's over. Now, the other option that looks better on your transcript, and what I highly recommend doing instead, is an audit. Now, if you do an audit, what that means is that you can still participate in the class, it's just that you won't get a final grade. Your grade at the end will be an audit. So it will still allow you to keep going on with the homework assignment, keep watching videos, and have access to the class. If you're going to have to take the class over again anyway, you might as well keep on continuing and try and get as much out of this class as possible before the next semester. So I highly recommend doing an audit. It also looks better on a transcript anyway if you do an audit. Now, there is a difference in the way that you do audits here at CSN. If you do withdrawal, you can do that online in the My registration system there. However, if you do an audit, you have to fill out a form and take it to the registrar's office. So there is a little bit different procedure. You want to look also at the dates that are in here, because it gives you deadlines for when you want to do a withdrawal and an audit, and sometimes they're not the same dates. Sometimes there's difference. So you got to take a look at the syllabus, and I'll tell you when that deadline is. So after the deadline for the withdrawal and audit, then I have to just give you whatever grade is listed in ALEKS at the end of the semester. So speaking of grades, the grading scale is listed on here, and I do grade with a plus or minus system in this class. So it tells you all the exact cutoffs. For a solid A, you have to get over 92%. And also, one thing to point out in this class is I do not give a C minus grade. The lowest for that, the grade that you can get in order to pass the class, you have to have a 70% or above. So 70 or above will be a solid C in this class. And so again, I don't give a C minus. Everything, it goes down to 70% is where the cutoff is there. The grading formula is in here. It shows you exactly how ALEKS does your grade calculation. That's there. And of course, overall grades are given with teacher discretion. Now, the rest of the stuff on here I'm not going to go through, because you can read this on your own. It talks about the different policies and different things. But the last thing I'll touch on here is the Center for Academic Success, the tutoring centers. There's a walk-in tutoring lab that's offered on all 3 campuses. I highly recommend that you take advantage of these. This is a free service. You can just go in and you can just do your homework in the tutoring center. They have computer labs available for you, so you can do your homework there, or you can bring a laptop if you wish and work on it there. There's Wi-Fi available, and there'll be tutors there to help you with your problem. So if you get stuck on a problem, then you can have a tutor help you. So I highly recommend taking advantage of that, because it's a free service. It's offered on all 3 campuses. They're open usually Monday through Saturday, depending on what campus that you're at. The hours are going to vary, so you want to go to the website that's listed here. It'll give you the most current hours for this semester when they're available. So please take advantage of that. And of course, if you don't have a computer at home, you need to do these problems online, then you can utilize one of the computer labs that are here on campus. So they're offered on all 3 campuses. We have great computer labs available here too, if you want to do your homework here on campus and don't have access to a computer. Well, this is all the information I wanted to go over. If anything changes, I'll send you an email and let you know and give you an update. But I want to wish all of you a very great semester, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me.